Welcome, everyone. We are live tonight. Listen, it was a great day. Oh, it was a very great day, and I was productive, and I was cool, calm, and collected 85% of the day, which is way better than I was yesterday. Actually, I laughed a lot today. Oh, I sure did. Some good belly laughs. Oh, yes, I did. Whew. I trust that y'all had a great day too. Anyhow, you know how we roll up in here. I have already flipped over. If you hear the squeaking, that's just my chair I'm sitting on. But oh, well, thank you for reminding me. I was supposed to remember what to call tomorrow's lesson, and I forgot until just now. It whispered it to me. I said, "Oh, okay, that's what it is." Oh, is this your favorite one? The art of prayer? Really, Cyber? Well, let me not keep you waiting. The art of prayer. Chapter 3. Imagination and faith. Prayers are not successfully made unless there is a rapport between the conscious and subconscious mind of the operator. This is done through imagination and faith. How? By the power of imagination, all men, certainly imaginative men, are forever casting forth enchantments, and all men, especially unimaginative men, are continually passing under their power. Can we ever be certain that it was not our mother while darning our socks who began that subtle change in our minds? If I can unintentionally cast an enchantment over persons, there is no reason to doubt that I am able to cast intentionally a far stronger enchantment. Everything that can be seen, touched, explained, argued over is to the imaginative man nothing more than a means for the functions, or for he functions by reason of his controlled imagination in the deep of himself, where every idea exists in itself and not in relation to something else. In him, there is no need for the restraints of reason, for the only restraint he can obey is the mysterious instinct that teaches him to eliminate all moods other than the mood of the fulfilled desire. Imagination and faith are the only faculties of the mind needed to create objective conditions. Imagination and faith are the only faculties of the mind needed to create objective conditions. The faith required for the successful operation of the law of consciousness is a purely subjective faith and is attainable upon the cessation of active opposition on the part of the objective mind of the operator. It depends on your ability to feel and accept as true what your objective senses deny. Say it again. It depends on your ability to feel and accept as true what your objective senses deny. Neither the passivity of the subject nor his conscious agreement with your suggestion is necessary. For without his consent or knowledge, he can be given a subjective order which he must objectively express. It is a fundamental law of consciousness that by telepathy we can have immediate communion with another. Ah. To establish rapport, you call the subject mentally. Focus your attention on him and mentally shout his name just as you would to attract the attention of anyone. Imagine that he answered and mentally hear his voice. Represent him to yourself inwardly in the state you want him to obtain. Then imagine that he is telling you in the tones of ordinary conversation what you want to hear. Mentally answer him. Tell him of your joy in witnessing his good fortune. Having mentally heard with all the distinctness of reality that which you wanted to hear, and having thrilled to the news heard, return to the objective consciousness. Your subjective conversation must awaken what it affirmed. Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee. It is not a strong will that sends the subjective word on its mission, so much as it is clear thinking and feeling the truth of the state affirmed. So, wait, are you saying it is not a strong will that sends the subjective word on its mission, so much as it is clear thinking and feeling the truth of the state affirmed? When belief and will are in conflict, belief invariably wins. When belief and will, I think I can, will. When what you believe and your willpower are in conflict, belief will win every time. Not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord of hosts. It is not your willpower, it is by your spirit. It is not what you want that you attract. You attract what you believe to be true. What was that? I didn't hear you. It is not what you want that you attract. You attract what you believe to be true. Therefore, get into the spirit of these mental conversations and give them the same degree of reality that you would a telephone conversation. Hey girl, how you doing? If thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever you desire, when you pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. The acceptance of the end wills the means, and the wisest reflection could not devise more effective means than those which are willed by the acceptance of the end. Mentally talk to your friends as though your desires for them were already realized. Imagination is the beginning of the growth of all forms, and faith is the substance out of which they are formed. By imagination, that which exists in latency or is asleep within the deep of consciousness is awakened and is given form. The cures attributed to the influence of certain medicines, relics, and places are the effects of imagination and faith. The curative power is not in the spirit that is in them, it is in the spirit in which they are accepted. The letter killeth, but the spirit giveth life. The subjective mind is completely controlled by suggestion. So whether the object of your faith be true or false, you'll get the same result. There is nothing unsound in the theory of medicine or in the claims of priesthood for their relics and holy places. The subjective mind of the patient accepts the suggestion of health conditioned on such states, and as soon as these conditions are met, proceeds to realize health. According to your faith, be it done unto you, for all things are possible to him that believeth. Confident expectation of a state is the most potent means of bringing it about. The confident expectation of a cure does that which no medical treatment can accomplish. The confident expectation of a cure does that which no medical treatment can accomplish. Failure is always due to an antagonistic autosuggestion by the patient arising from objective doubt of the power of medicine or relic, or from doubt of the truth of the theory. Many of us, you see, either from too little emotion or too much intellect, both of which are stumbling blocks in the way of prayer, cannot believe that which our senses deny. To force ourselves to believe will end in greater doubt. To avoid such counter suggestions, the patient should be unaware, objectively, of the suggestions which are made to him. The most effective method of healing or influencing the behavior of others consists in what is known as the silent or absent treatment. When the subject is unaware, objectively, of the suggestion given him, there is no possibility of him setting up an antagonistic belief. It is not necessary that the patient know objectively that anything is being done for him. From what is known of the subjective and objective processes of reasoning, it is better that he should not know objectively of that which is being done for him. The more completely the objective mind is kept in ignorance of the suggestion, the better will the suggestive mind perform its function. That is in good, bad, or indifferent things. Hmm. Listen to it again because I got to highlight it, right? Listen to it again and use the principle of correspondence, as above, so below, as within, so without. The more completely the objective mind is kept in ignorance of the suggestion, the better will the subjective mind perform its function, aka brain washing, because the objective mind is kept in ignorance of the suggestion. You don't know what the suggestion is, but the suggestion is made. And because the suggestion is made and accepted, ooh, the subjective mind will perform its functions optimally. The subject subconsciously accepts the suggestion and thinks he originates it, proving the truth of Spinoza's dictum that we know not the causes that determine our actions. The subconscious mind is the universal conductor which the operator modifies with his thoughts and feelings. Oh, I want to say something so bad there, but I will at the end. Maybe if I remember, I'll do it at the end. Visible states are either the vibratory effects of subconscious vibrations within you, or they are vibratory causes of the corresponding vibrations within you. What? Let me say it again, you'll get it. Visible states are either the vibratory effects of subconscious vibrations within you, or they are vibratory causes of the corresponding vibrations within you. So correspondence would be somebody says something and it's already in you. You can't make somebody do something that they're not already decided to do within themselves. So when I make the suggestion, so long as it corresponds with what they believe of themselves, well then the visible states are either the vibratory effects of subconscious vibrations within you, or they are vibratory causes of the corresponding vibrations within you. You see, a disciplined man never permits them to be causes unless they awaken in him the desirable states of consciousness. With a knowledge of the law of reversibility, the disciplined man transforms his world by imagining and feeling only what is lovely and of good report. The beautiful idea he awakens within himself shall not fail to arouse its affinity in others. He knows the Savior of the world is not a man, but the manifestation that would save. The sick man's Savior is health. The hungry man's is food. The thirsty man's Savior is water. He walks in the company of the Savior by assuming the feeling of his wish fulfilled. By the law of reversibility, that all transformations of force are reversible. The energy or feeling awakened transforms itself into the state imagined. He never waits 4 months for the harvest. If in 4 months the harvest will awaken in him a state of joy, then inversely, the joy of harvest now will awaken the harvest now. Oh, look, my Savior. Now is the acceptable time to give beauty for ashes, joy for mourning, praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. Well, we're on chapter 4. I'm just highlighting. I'm just highlighting. But let me say this to you again. A disciplined man never permits them to be causes unless they awaken in him the desirable states of consciousness. What does he not allow? The vibratory states. The vibratory state within you. What do you believe? It is that state that will correspond as within, so without. It is the principle of correspondence. Chapter 4, controlled reverie. Everyone is amenable to the same psychological laws which govern the ordinary hypnotic subject. He is amenable to control by suggestion. In hypnosis, the objective senses are partly or totally suspended. However, no matter how profoundly the objective senses are locked in hypnosis, the subjective faculties are alert and the subject recognizes everything that goes on around him. See, because we think that hypnosis means you're so out of it, you don't know what's going on. No, he said it doesn't matter how profoundly the objective senses are locked in hypnosis. The subjective faculties are alert. That's what catches everything, right? The activity and power of the subjective mind are proportionate to the sleep of the objective mind. The activity and power of the subjective mind are proportionate to the sleep of the objective mind. Remember, rhythm compensates. So if you are deep in this hypnotic trance, meaning your senses are so relaxed, well, then obviously the deeper you go in the state, because rhythm compensates. Suggestions which appear powerless when presented directly to the objective consciousness, pardon me, are highly efficacious when the subject is in a hypnotic state. Highly effective then. So, suggestions which appear powerless when presented directly to the objective consciousness are highly effective when the subject is in a hypnotic state. The hypnotic state is simply being unaware objectively. You're aware subjectively, unaware objectively. Your senses then. In hypnotism, the conscious mind is put to sleep and the subconscious powers are exposed as to be directly reached by suggestion. It is easy to see from this, providing you accept the truth of mental suggestions, that anyone not objectively aware of you is in a profound hypnotic state relative to you. Anyone not objectively aware of you, pardon me, is in a profound hypnotic state relative to you. Therefore, curse not the king, no, not in thy thought, and curse not the rich in the bedchamber, for a bird in the air shall carry the voice, and that which hath wings shall tell the matter. Ecclesiastes 10, verse 20. What you sincerely believe as true of another, you will awaken within him. No one need be entranced in the ordinary manner to be helped. It is if the subject is consciously unaware of the suggestion, and the suggestion is given with conviction and confidently accepted by the operator as true, well, then you have the ideal setting for a successful prayer. Represent the subject to yourself mentally as though he had already done that which you desire him to do. Mentally speak to him and congratulate him on having done what you want him to do. Mentally see him in the state you want him to obtain. Within the circle of its action, every word subjectively spoken awakens objectively. Every word subjectively spoken awakens objectively what it affirms. Incredulity on the part of the subject is no hindrance when you are in control of your reverie. Incredulity, shock, you can't believe it. But let's get the dictionary meaning. Hold on. Let's look up the word incredulous, shall we? Where's the eyes? Incredulous, skeptical, expressing disbelief. So let's read that sentence again. Skepticism or disbelief on the part of the subject is no hindrance when you are in control of your reverie. Relaxation, reverie. Bold assertion by you or bold assertions by you while you are in a partly subjective state awakens what you affirm. Self confidence on your part and the thorough belief in the truth of your mental assertions are all that is needed to produce results. Visualize the subject and imagine that you hear his voice. This establishes contact with his suggestive mind. Okay, now here's where you might be a little bit incredulous, skeptical. The other day, as I was playing the chime, I know somebody who loves the chime. And I said, I thought to myself, I'd love for her to come in and hear the chime. And before the thought was out of my mind, she popped into the room and I saw her and I was like, oh, the same thing is if you were thinking of someone and they called you. So Visualize the subject and imagine that you hear his voice. This establishes contact with his subjective mind to mind telepathy. Then imagine that he is telling you what you want to hear. If you want to send him words of health and wealth, then imagine that he's telling you, why, I have never felt better and I have never had more. And mentally tell him of your joy in witnessing his good fortune. Imagine that you see and hear his joy. A mental conversation with the subjective image of another must be in a manner which does not express the slightest doubt as to the truth of what you hear and say. I wonder why. If you have the least idea that you do not believe what you have imagined, you have heard and seen, the subject will not comply. For your subjective mind will transmit only your fixed ideas. Only fixed ideas can awaken their vibratory correlates in those toward whom they are directed. I'll read it a little slower. Only fixed ideas can awaken their vibratory correlates in those toward whom they are directed. Vibratory correlates, remember we read back there about the vibration within correlates? Yes. In the controlled reverie, ideas must be suggested with the utmost care. If you do not control your imagination in the reverie, your imagination will control you. Whatever you suggest with confidence is law to the subjective mind. It is under obligation to objectify that which you mentally affirm. Not only does the subject execute the state affirmed, but he does it as though the decision had come of itself, or the idea had originated by him. Let me slide something in here. You know, when you hear about uh, some kind of an injustice and people want to riot, yeah, the suggestion is given. And it is given with confidence. The confidence is the law to the subjective mind. It is under obligation to objectify that which you mentally affirm. Ponder it and see how mass media works. Comprehend how mass media works. Not only does the subject execute the state affirmed, but he does it as though the decision had come of itself, or the idea, or the idea had originated by him. Control of the subconscious is dominion over all. Each state obeys one mind's control. Control of the subconscious is accomplished through control of your beliefs, which in turn is the all potent factor in the visible states. Imagination and faith are the secrets of creation. And we'll end with that chapter tonight. Why? Control of the subconscious is dominion over all. But how? How does the disciplined man control his mind? Here's how. Because it's something for us to practice, right? How else does one become disciplined if you don't practice? A disciplined man never permits causes unless they awaken in him the desirable states of consciousness, meaning he can hear war, he can hear rumors of war, he can hear of sickness and pestilence and famine and locusts, he can hear all of those things. But they don't awaken a desirable state of consciousness in the disciplined man, so they do not penetrate him. The suggestion falls upon a deaf ear. So, how does one become disciplined? The disciplined man transforms his world by imagining and feeling only, say it with me, only what is lovely and of good report. The beautiful idea he awakens within himself shall not fail to arouse its affinity in others. So, how are we going to practice tonight when we go into the silence? Now, let me tell you a little secret, right? This may seem a little far fetched. This may seem like you don't get it, but you have a helper. And your helper knows you need assistance. So, what do? You just gently whisper, "Ooh, help me to see it." I do it especially when I'm playing mahjong. I do it when I go anywhere, the grocery store. If I can't find something, I stand there and I just close my eyes for a minute. I say, "Show me." And I open my eyes, and my eyes fall right upon what I was looking for. If I say, "Ooh, tell me," I am told what it is, because all day I was supposed to make that list this morning, and just one title, and I could not recall it. But I remember saying, "Remind me what it is at some point today. Remind me what it is so I can do the morning inspiration with that topic." And as I sat here and I said hello to people on Fanbase, I heard it. Why do you hear it? Why do you see it? Or if you say, "I don't understand, show me. I don't understand. I want to understand." You do that. Remember, there is an alert part of you. And what is that alert part? Subconscious mind. So anytime you're stuck, ask, tell me, show me, teach me. I've been doing that since I was a wee girl. And it works like a charm every single time. Every time. So tonight, as we go into the silence, a disciplined man transforms his world by imagining and feeling only what is lovely and of good report. Why? Because as within, so without. When that feeling confirms what you believe to be true, good, bad, or indifferent, listen, it'll have people saying, "Oh my God, there's a curse." No, there's not. You believe. You believe there's a curse. And because you believe it with conviction, well, then it looks like it. So let us go into the silence for 5 minutes. And as we are in that silence, as we are in it, just practice only hearing what is of good report. Practice hearing that. And the more you practice hearing it, the more you practice hearing it, the more you practice, then what happens? As within, so without. So practice. Let us go into the silence. And there concludes our 5 minutes. Wisdom Almighty, I see you. Um, Cyber, hey. Um, I am that deal. Flo Smiles. Maisie, I think is how I say it. Casey and Delight. Afternoon Delight, that's right. Thank you all for being here tonight. Remember to practice. But what are you going to practice? Well, let's remind you. We practice what you sincerely believe as true of another, you will awaken within him. One. Two, a disciplined man never permits them to be causes unless they awaken in him the desirable states of consciousness. So if somebody says, yo, mama, right? Does that awaken something desirable in you? No, that awakens them as fighting words. That's what it awakens within you. So that's what will happen. So the disciplined man transforms his world by imagining and feeling only what is lovely and of good report. The beautiful idea he awakens within himself shall not fail to arouse its affinity in others. And there you have it. Now, you might want to chime for a moment or two. Let's play it. Let's chime in. Well, you won't get chicken because, well, he's asleep. Well, he's over there in the shadow somewhere. I can't see him. Let's get you guys a little closer. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember to practice. Yes, remember to practice. Anywho, much love to you, Twitter. Twitter is closed. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. I'll see you on tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You want to wake up with us? Yes. Much love to you.